The Qur'an singles out one woman, dooming her to hellfire forever. She will enter the blazing fire with a rope of twisted fiber around her neck. Meet Jamil, the wealthiest, most ruthless woman of Mecca, feared even by Shaitan himself. She wielded power, spread deadly lies, tortured believers, and pushed her husband to wage war on Islam. Her evil tricks echo in today's enemies of the faith. This is her shocking, untold story, the woman Allah cursed by name. If you're ready for the truth that still burns bright, hit play now. Don't forget to subscribe to Religions of Faith and smash that like button to join us in uncovering these powerful in the heart of pre-Islamic Arabia, where every birth was a calculation of power. One girl entered the world destined to become legend, for all the wrong reasons. Her name at birth was Arwa bint Harb ibn Umayyah, but history would remember her forever as Jamil, mother of Jamil. Though the name would soon carry the weight of curses rather than pride. She was born into the glittering elite of Quraysh, the tribe that controlled Mecca, the Kaaba, and the richest trade routes connecting Yemen to Syria. Her father, Harb ibn Umayyah, was no ordinary man. He was a warlord, a ruthless negotiator, and one of the most feared chieftains of Banu Umayyah, the clan that would later produce caliphs and most laughed, some shrugged. Jamil did neither. She summoned her most trusted maids and ordered them to listen at every gathering, every women's circle, every corner of the souk. Within days, she had a full picture. Muhammad was reciting strange verses, speaking of one God instead of the 360 idols surrounding the Kaaba, calling for an end to usury, tribal revenge, female infanticide. To most Quraysh, it was madness. To Jamil, it was treason against everything she had built her life upon. If this new message spread, the Kaaba's pilgrimage trade would collapse. The Quraysh's monopoly on religion and commerce would vanish. The carefully balanced system of alliances, blood feuds, and tribute would crumble. And worst of all, the Banu Hashim, Muhammad's clan, would rise while Banu Umayyah, her father's clan, her husband's allies, would be humiliated. She turned to Abū Lahab one evening as the sun set behind Mount Abu Qubais. "This is not a madman's dream," she said, voice low and cold. "This is war, and if we do not crush it now, it will crush us." Abū Lahab, always quick to anger, slammed his fist on the table. "Then let us begin." Jamil smiled, thin, sharp, dangerous. And so it began. The woman who would be named in the Qur'an as carrier of thorns, wife of the doomed one, first architect of disbelief in Mecca, had chosen her side. She would not just oppose the message, she would make it her personal mission to destroy the messenger. End of chapter 1. Fade out, slow zoom on a shadowy figure of a woman standing on a rooftop overlooking the Kaaba. Abū Lahab, born Abd al-Uzza ibn Abdul Muttalib, was everything Mecca valued in a man. Obscenely wealthy, brutally ambitious, and closely related to the most respected bloodline in the city. He was the paternal uncle of a young man named Muhammad ibn Abdullah, though at this point, no one yet suspected what that connection would mean. Abū Lahab's trade caravans stretched from Mecca to Gaza and beyond. His warehouses overflowed with frankincense, myrrh, leather, and slaves. His laughter was loud, his temper legendary, his generosity calculated. He gave lavishly only when it bought loyalty. When the marriage contract was signed, Jamil did not blush or lower her gaze like other brides. She looked straight into Abū Lahab's eyes and smiled, not a smile of love, but of triumph. She understood instantly. This union was not about romance. It was a merger of two empires of influence. Together, they would be untouchable. The wedding feast lasted 7 days. Camels were slaughtered by the dozens. Jamil turned Khadija into a cautionary tale. She used to command respect. Now mothers warn their daughters, don't end up like Khadija, rich today, ruined tomorrow by a dreamer's delusions. Word spread like wildfire through the women's quarters. Invitations to Khadija's home dwindled. Sisters who once visited daily now made excuses. Even some of her own relatives hesitated. Khadija felt the isolation creeping in like evening cold, but she never complained. She never wavered. Her faith was a mountain no wind could shake. Jamil saw that her first attack had not broken the rock, so she decided to bury it under stones. She moved to the open markets, the beating heart of Mecca, Every morning, when the sun rose over Mount Abu Qubays and merchants unfurled their awnings, Jamil would appear. Not as a shopper, but as a performer. She chose the busiest crossroads, near the cloth sellers and spice traders, where voices carried far. There, in a voice loud enough to silence haggling camels, she began her daily ritual. "O people of Quraysh, beware the magician from Banu Hashim." He twists words like a snake twists its body. He calls black white and truth falsehood. He wants to break our father's religion, steal our trade, and make us bow to an invisible God no one has ever seen. Passers-by stopped. Some laughed nervously, others frowned. A few young men, already curious about the new message, listened longer than they should have. She never let them linger in thought. He even turns sons against fathers, daughters against mothers. Is this a religion or a curse upon the family? Then the final venomous flourish. If you value your children, your wealth, your honor, stay far from him, or you will share the ruin he is bringing upon himself. Day after day, she repeated it. She varied the insults. Sorcerer, poet possessed by jinn, liar, divider of tribes, destroyer of customs. Each phrase was carefully chosen. Short, memorable, repeatable. Within weeks, children in the streets were chanting them as insults. Women used them to silence daughters who asked too many questions about the man who speaks of one God. Jamil didn't just slander, she branded. She made disbelief fashionable. To mock Muhammad, peace be upon him, became a sign of loyalty to Quraysh, of sophistication, of belonging. But she wasn't content with words alone. One scorching afternoon, she gathered a circle of her most trusted and most cruel female allies. They sat under a canopy near the Zamzam well, sipping cool water flavored with rose petals. She spoke softly, but every word carried iron. "If words alone do not stop this poison, then we must make them afraid, truly afraid." The plan was simple and vicious. The next time the Prophet, peace be upon him, walked the familiar path from his home to the Kaaba to pray, they would act. That very evening, as Maghrib approached and the sky turned deep orange, Jamil led a small group of women to a narrow stretch of road the Prophet frequently used. In their hands, baskets filled with camel dung, rotten fruit, sharp thorns gathered from the desert outskirts, broken pottery shards. They worked quickly, quietly, spreading the filth across the path, hiding thorns beneath thin layers of dust. It looked like an ordinary stretch of ground. It was a trap. He did not cry out. He simply paused, removed it calmly, and continued. But Jamil and her companions were watching from the shadows of a nearby house. They saw no blood. They saw no anger. They saw only serene patience. It infuriated her more than any shout could have. "He walks as if the road itself honors him," she hissed to her companions. "We must make it hurt more next time." And they did. Night after night, the obstacles grew worse. Glass shards, animal entrails, piles of refuse. Yet the Prophet never complained, never cursed, never changed his path. Instead, something unexpected happened. Some who witnessed his unbreakable calm began to wonder, how can a man endure such humiliation and still smile with peace in his eyes? The very cruelty meant to crush him planted the first seeds of doubt in the hearts of his tormentors. Jamil felt it, the tiniest crack in her perfect plan. She doubled down. She began targeting new converts, especially women. The punishment was savage: beatings, starvation, burning with hot irons. Zinira's screams echoed through the quarter. Jamil visited the house the next day, bringing sweets for the children and a smile for the mistress. "See?" she said brightly. "This is what happens when you follow madness. Better they suffer now than drag the whole family into ruin." But even as she spoke, Zinira, broken, scarred, half-blind from the torture, lifted her head and whispered, "Allah is sufficient for me, and He is the best disposer of affairs." Jamil froze for one heartbeat. Then she turned and left without another word. For the first time she felt something unfamiliar. Not fear, not yet. But the shadow of fear, because she had just seen something she could not mock, cannot bribe, cannot burn away. Faith that refused to break.